I'm Josellie Rios from Funimation, and this is One Piece at a Time. I'm your host and a social media producer. And in celebration of the One Piece anime's 20th anniversary, I'm watching the show for the first time, and every week, a seasoned fan rewatching the series will join me in exploring each episode following the Merry Route binge guide. So come on board on this adventure starting right now. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back, MJ.
Hi, thank you.
So we are on podcast episode number 37.
37.
I know.
Oh my gosh, we've come a long way.
37 episodes. We will go through anime episodes 287 to 294. So on the last podcast episode, which was episode 36, we went through anime episodes 279 to 286. And we took a look back at each of the Straw Hats stories, and we sort of were able to notice some things that we hadn't noticed, or at least for me, that I hadn't noticed the first time that I watched them. We also meet Chopper Man.
Yeah, isn't he cute?
He's the most adorable thing
Love Chopper Man
in the world. And we saw all the Straw Hat Theater shorts, which were very funny. And then we saw the Straw Hats reach the Tower of Law and begin their fight against CP9 in order to get 5 keys, that one of them is the one that will take Nico Robin's shackles off. So they don't know which one it is, so they need to get all 5. And then Luffy goes ahead to find Robin before she gets to the gates of justice. And that's where we left off. And I predicted that he would get into trouble, as he always does when he's by himself. I don't know why
He tries. He's a great leader.
Why do they send him by himself, though?
They don't send him anywhere.
He should always
No,
have Nami
Jocelyn,
by
he always goes ahead, remember?
That's true. That's true.
Like, even the train, he just jumps ahead.
That's true. But this time they did send him by himself. Nami should have gone with him, I feel. It went better when she went with him, when Eneru part, remember?
Oh. Did she go? Oh.
She went with him to the last
yeah.
boss fight. So, on this episode, we'll see Straw Hats versus CP9, and will Luffy reach Robin? Episode 287. I won't kick even if it costs me my life. Sanji's chivalry.
Even if you didn't say Sanji's chivalry, people can
guess.
You
can know.
Who's saying this, yeah.
We start this episode right where we left off, where Kaku in his giraffe form cuts the building in half, basically.
Yeah, I like how Usopp's like, what? Looks up. Oh, look at that. I can see the sky well.
No, the building is broken.
Yeah. Nice, beautiful view. You can see the night sky really well. Yeah.
I really like that Kaku is sort of trying to prove how cool giraffes are, okay? Like, I can cut through a building, okay? It doesn't matter that I'm a giraffe.
How strong, right? First, their argument was like how strong they are, I believe.
Yeah.
But we see that they go chasing, because Usopp and Zoro are shackled together.
Chopper comes along. He sort of finds the garden and sees Usopp Sniper King and Zoro. And they ask him to find the key for their shackles.
Yeah, because it turns out that Kaku and Jabra don't have theirs, right? Because I think they mentioned if they had it, they were like, we'll unshackle you. So just so we can fight. Right? And then neither of them had it. And they were like, and Zoro and Usopp get so disappointed. Why'd you raise our hopes up? But yeah, I think they need number 2. Yeah.
So they need that key.
We didn't see Kaku's number, did we? We saw Jabra was number, I think, 1.
Yes.
But I don't know.
No, he looked at it and we didn't see it. So...
Okay. No. But yeah, so Choppa goes off to find number 2.
And we go back to Luffy.
By himself,
going towards the gates of justice. And on the last podcast episode, we saw that he decided that it was too complicated to try and find the way from the inside. So he went and tried to find it from the outside.
Yeah, buildings
which
can
make sense.
Yeah.
Can make sense. I mean, it's a logical approach, let's say. So he finds like the last place where he can look at the gates. And
Oh,
there's
yeah, the land, right before, like the water.
Yeah. So
And you see there's no bridge.
there's no bridge.
Whirlpools.
Just
There's
a bunch of whirlpools.
Was it a bunch or a huge one? But there was at least a.
Yeah, I
whirlpool.
think there were, at least that we saw, there were two. I don't remember if there were more, but
think
there were
there
like
were
two
more. Yeah.
on the sides. And he sees this tiny boat and he's like, I can definitely cross this water, this dangerous water, on this tiny boat that I will row
Doesn't
myself.
it remind you of when he first set out?
Yes,
Remember?
that
he
story.
supposedly also got caught in a whirlpool and put himself in a, was it the barrel?
I mean, and you can't swim. That's like your basic thing. Is that you
But he
can't
has to
swim.
get through roping, you know?
But there has to be a better way. This one's too dangerous.
But he
But
doesn't know
it's
anything,
Luffy.
you know, timeliness is.
So we just see that he takes the boat, but we do know what is going to happen.
I definitely know, but you never know. Maybe it's a magical boat.
I feel like you do know. So luckily, though, Chimney is still running around through that secret passage that she found, and it took her to the stairs where Spandam was going down with Robin, and she finds like this sort of symbol with the Gates of Justice symbol on it, like this button. So she just presses it.
It was so I had that, like, she just sees, did it have a Gates of Justice symbol?
It had the symbol that it's on the gates. I don't think she knew that it was that, but I recognized it.
Good for you. I was like, oh, there's a yellow button. And Chimney stares at it for a while and clicks it. And then the things start moving, the wall starts moving, and it reveals like that secret passageway, right?
Yeah.
Would you have pushed it?
I mean, sure. I mean, at this point, I'm lost in a secret stairwell that leads to God knows where. I would definitely try.
In a way, I was surprised it wasn't better hidden.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. It was just in the middle of the wall to one side.
Yeah. But yeah, she does press it and finds that pathway. And she pops out, like, to see, I think, Luffy drowning, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why she came out of the box.
Yeah.
But then Luffy's just, like, drowning. I'm like, how are you?
She comes out, and that's what she finds. And when I saw that, just Luffy struggling in the water, I was like, of course that's what happened.
Well, we were right.
So we go back to Chopper, and he's, doing his best as always, try and find
He's so cute.
the key. And he's like, they're my only, I'm their only hope, right?
Yep. They called him their only hope, and he was like,
And they used that line.
That doesn't make me happy, but he's,
Blushing.
Yep. And he figures that in his, like, when he's rationalizing, he figures Sanji might be the first one to get a key, and then tries to go look for him. So he's doing that, and then we see Nami fighting Kumadori. And Kumadori is significantly stronger, so he's overwhelming her. And so the smart thing is to run away. So she tries to run.
Then we also cut to Frankie
And Fukuro.
and Fukuro. And Fukuro realizes that Frankie is not completely human because he can't fight him, as easily as he thought. Like his
I mean, there's a lot of other
attacks
indications, but
yeah, exactly. Maybe the nose is a hint. I'm not sure. And then we cut to Sanji, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
Sanji's fighting a woman,
Yep.
so we know what's happening.
he's tea timing.
Yes. He's giving her a lesson on tea. Last time we saw, like, how to properly heat the water and,
I mean, that'd be nice. I kind of want to learn. I want to learn for tea time. But then Sanji obviously finally realizes that he was caught in a love trap. And he was like, witchcraft. This is witchcraft. I'm like, Sanji, she's just a normal woman.
Every woman is a love trap to Sanji. So she then tells him, like, well, if you want this key, you're going to have to search my body.
Yeah.
And what he's like, oh, gladly. But I mean, that doesn't mean she's just going to let you search her body.
Yeah. I mean, so I had, where do you think on my body do you think
Is that
I
what
hid
it says on the sub?
Or like
That's
in the
even
subs,
sexier.
Yeah. Really. And then so Sanji's like, oh, I'll help you look. But then she like kicks him. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just, yeah, exactly. It's like, just because she says that, do you think she would have let you search?
So they start fighting, but he doesn't actually land any blows. Like, he's like stopping right before his foot reaches her face.
He always says that's a landing. Like, right before it lands, he stops, but he says that would have been a kick or et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, that's not how fighting works, though, Sanji. Like, how are you gonna... What? When you get to 50, she'll just say, like, okay, then you win. Like, what did you expect?
He didn't actually hit her. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. So when he does that, she just, like, kicks him in the balls. And it's like, this is how you score a point.
I think...
Which is a good point, actually. Like, you can't just score points without hitting.
Yeah, just... Unless you have certain powers that... I mean, they'll still need to hit, even if it's not visible.
Right. You're not in an Olympics match or anything. This is plain, real fighting.
Yeah. I didn't notice this when I first watched it, I think. But I noted that he calls her Konogaki, I believe, in Japanese, which is like this brat. But then it almost implies that she's younger, so I did get slightly confused. I wrote that down, but do we know how old they are?
I don't think they've mentioned how old they are.
Yeah, any of them. At the CP9 people.
And she's been, she was a secretary for 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And she looked pretty, like, already, like, an adult.
Right.
So, I'll look that up if I remember later. But then Sanji does pin her down with his leg, I think.
Yes. He pins her
down. Or, like,
down.
gets her on the ground.
Mm-hmm. And she finger pistols him.
Because he doesn't actually attack her still.
Oh, Sanji. This reminds me, what was that other fight that Sanji had that was with a woman? Was it the chef one? No.
The chef one where they're cooking? No. I think...
This is giving me a flashback of another time when Sanji didn't fight a woman. Or am I making this up?
No, I think there was one. I think we talked about it even. Wow, we're blanking. Oh, well, it might come to us. We'll mention it if it comes to us.
So, Khalifa gets ready to make her attack. And we saw Kaku's new power, but we haven't seen Khalifa's. Mm-hmm. So she's like, if you don't withstand this attack, is what she says, then you won't survive. At least that's what she says in the dub. And I'm ready to know what her power is.
In the sub, or I don't know if I translated it in my head and wrote this down, or on this, at least in this, what I wrote down was that if you don't attack back, you won't survive. Kind of different.
So, but we don't get to see it yet.
Nope, not yet.
Because we cut to Nami.
Who's still
trying
fighting. To run away, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Kumadori traps her with his hair, which has awesome powers, apparently.
And it's pink.
It's pink. So it looks like it's the end. Like, he has her right there. And he's about to stab her with his staff, but he starts, performing one of his plays, and it's taking forever because he starts like, this is the end, but he starts reciting like his play.
I appreciate his performances.
Yeah. And he's like, but first, once you get to the other side, please deliver this message to my deceased mother.
Wait, I think I'll at least let you bloom in lovely bright red petals one more time before you fall. That's my compassion. And you're right. Please tell my mother I'm here.
So that allows for Chopper to come in and save her, since it took so long to kill her.
Which is great. And then Nami's like, yay, I have the key. I already took it from him. And it's number 3, which is not number 2.
It is not. So we know who has number 1. We know Nami has number 3 now. And then Kaku has unknown number.
And then from the sky falls Sanji.
Yeah. Or what's left of Sanji. Poor Sanji. He looks very weird.
What did you think? Because they first thought it was they were like, oh, what is this doll? Mm-hmm. But then realized it's Sanji.
He's just very slick, very smooth. I don't know what to think.
He was shiny?
He was shiny.
Well, I didn't know what I first thought.
I just thought he looked so weird. I was like, what did she do?
My initial reaction was, what a weird shape, or interesting shape that he became. What happened to him?
Yeah, because it looks like he has no lines.
Yeah.
Just smooth out curves.
And I didn't really get the shininess until later, I think. He looked shiny, but I was just confused. And of course, Nami asked, what happened?
Yeah.
And Sanji goes on this whole thing of, even at the cost of my life, I won't kick a woman.
Yes. That's what he was taught and he will not hit a woman, even if it literally kills him. And Nami's like, why?
But Nami kind of understands that and says, fine, just you do that, I'll place you in the fight, and goes and face Kaifa, which is like awesome. I'm like, good for you, Nami.
Yeah, Nami's stepping up.
Yes.
I like that. And she even says like, by the way, I like that jewelry of yours. And Sanji's like, did she just say she loves me?
And then Chopper just is
Not
like,
even
no,
close.
No.
And that's where the episode ends.
I think, so Nami looks up at Karifa and Nami says, I'm not nice like Sanji or something similar to that. And Karifa acknowledges that she's not nice either. And then looks like we're going to get along. And and then the episode ends.
Chick battle.
They're kick butt. I
Yes.
really like their fight. I definitely remember this Nami fight.
Yes.
In like all of my One Piece knowledge. And no ending song. I know we already mentioned it, but how are you doing with the no ending song?
I know. I mean, it's definitely strange to have no ending song. You know, it just cuts to the preview and I'm like, wait, am I missing something? And yeah, it's a bit sad though, because I really did enjoy like that last bit of
I like
ending songs that change quite frequently, so you had the opportunity
they change a lot.
to see different stuff. It's not like you just saw the same old thing all the time.
Yeah, I'm used to it now because the simulcast doesn't either.
Yeah, I'm still not used to it. When the preview the music
when it
of the
just pops
preview
up,
pops up, I'm like, wait, where's my song? Right? There's no more songs.
I mean, it's a recent change, so it makes sense. Episode 288, Fukuro's miscalculation. My cola is the water of life.
It's the water of life.
We know who these characters are.
I know some
just
people
by
who
the
think
titles.
that way too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My guess is Frankie.
So Kumadori comes in after Nami. She's running away from him after Chopper gets her. So Chopper steps up. He's ready to fight. I'm like, yeah, Chopper. I really enjoy Chopper fights because we don't get a lot of them. I also enjoy Nami fights. Also for the same reason. Yeah, we don't get a lot of chances for them to shine or, do their part.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that. We go to Chimney and we see that she pulled Luffy out of the water. Luckily for him, and she asks him, at least in the dub, she says, are you stupid or something? Like, well, the little girl has a point, Luffy.
I don't know how exactly she worded it, but yes, she did question Luffy and mentioned something similar to, there's no way you could have made your way across.
Right, on that boat, on that tiny boat. Even a little girl and her bunny cat can see that. He's about to slingshot himself over as an alternative because that's Luffy.
Across the two whirlpools.
I know. Chimney tells him that she knows another way, that she found a secret passage. It's too late, though. He does end up in the water still. So she saves him again. Luffy. These things about Luffy make me laugh so hard because here you have this super strong guy that just figured out how to do that second gear attack that is super powerful but still needs to be saved by a little girl.
Well, as far as he knows, right, it's just wasting time to trying to figure out if there's a blueprint to get to the other building. So I will always defend Luffy even though we both love him. But yeah, I guess it could be, it's curious.
I feel it's also
curious.
like a waste of time drowning. I don't know. You do have a point.
You also have a point.
I can understand his reasoning.
Well, he's trying it. He's not doing it because he thinks he definitely will drown. He just wanted to try, just in case he might not drown. Okay, so anyhow, he grabs Chimney and I forgot his name. Was it Gombe? Like the cat.
Yeah, Gombe. The bunny cat, I call him. So yeah, he grabs her. She piggybacks on him, and she takes him or directs him along the secret passage, and tells him this is where I saw Lucci and that servant of his come down through, and she means Spandam because he's weak.
I thought it was funny too.
She just assumed
Spandam is the servant.
Yeah.
He's the chief.
Yeah. So they get to a door, and they don't have a key. So
it's like this huge door that says world government on it.
So she tells him, like, this is where I saw them go through. And he's like, no problem. And he bites his finger and yells third gear to break the door, but we don't see it.
No, we don't.
We just see like the lights, and she's super impressed. She goes hi, and I'm like, what is it? Did he turn into a Titan? But yeah, so we don't see it. But he does make like this big hole on the wall.
Yeah, so the door is just obliterated.
And he's tiny.
Yeah.
Kawaii.
He's so cute.
So cute. And he speaks like with a very high voice because he's now so tiny and he just runs.
Oh yeah, I guess the pitch was slightly different.
So what I assume is third gear makes him this way, at least temporarily.
Yes, but I want to know if you have any speculation on what third gear is.
So we saw
second gear, right?
So second gear sort of, allows him to like channel his power. So I'm not sure what third gear does. I don't know if it just makes him be able to expel all this power that he sort of
he kind of does already in second gear. Like,
that's true.
It's pumping his like I think it's circulation. Right?
Yeah, that's
in order to why am I asking you? I should be knowing. But yeah, that's why he steams, because he speeds up like circulation, blood flow to bring more nutrients, etc., to wherever he's thinking. Usually his whole body turns pink.
Yeah,
and then he releases it wherever. But
so I wonder what third gear is. This is like just one big blast that then make him tiny, because
why do you think
his energy is now spent?
Right, he's rubber man.
So does it mean he like contracts?
So what would make him? Do you think make him small? Okay. I'm so excited to see if you think it makes sense after we see it.
We'll see.
Yeah. So we see him tiny and cute and just walking his way. And Spandam, I think he says, what was that? I think he heard something.
Yeah, they heard something.
And they speculate maybe a pirate destroyed the doors. Did Lucci say that? Someone said that. And Spandam says it's ridiculous because they're thick iron doors. There's no... And also, it was the secret passageway. So, and why would you defy me and us? Because we're the world government or something similar to that. And Nico Robin's just looking at him, I think, in a very disdainful way. And that's it for that scene. And we go back to Nami, where their fighting starts.
Yes.
Okay, it doesn't really start, but
we get like a glimpse. Literally
the start, because she's in the room and then Kaifa's just like stripping, taking her clothes off behind the screen. I'm guessing for the bath.
Yeah,
right.
There's a bath ready and she's taking off her clothes. Nami's super confused.
Well, were you not confused?
Yeah, I was super confused too. I was like, wait. I was wondering if it had to do anything with her power, which we will see. It does.
Also, why is there a huge bath? That wasn't a bathroom, was it?
No. Right. Why is there a big
huge
bathtub?
Yeah. And then we have Frankie.
Yes. Then we go back to Frankie, who's fighting Fukuro, and he does this attack that is super funny because his sideburns. Frankie makes me laugh a lot because since he's a cyborg, I never know what he's gonna do next. And so his sideburns are basically, boomerangs that he can throw. So he makes a sideburn attack. And they start exchanging insults, like clothing insults. They start calling each other like socks. And I don't even know why. At this point, I was watching the episode and I hear them suddenly start yelling at each other. Pieces of clothing. And I'm like, how did we get here?
At this point.
How did we get here?
Wow, I totally skimmed over that. Good job, me and my rewatch.
So, Chopper comes in while this is happening.
Yep.
And he's still fighting Kumadori. And he locks him up in the fridge.
And it's huge.
It's a huge fridge.
It's a huge refrigerator.
He locks him in there. And Frankie's fighting Fukuro. And he yells at Chopper, like, can you give me some cola from the refrigerator? And he's like, I just locked this guy in here. But I think I can do it.
Yeah.
And...
I know why you're laughing, but okay,
Kumadori is so slow because he's obviously making this whole
he's just lying on his side.
He's just thing in
on
there.
his right.
So we see Chopper open the door and Kumadori is just lying there on his side, and he starts, as soon as he sees the door open, he starts saying in his very calm play theater voice, like, what? Let me out of here. But he doesn't do anything. Like, you'd think a bad guy locked in a fridge would be trying to get out, but he's just lying there. So Chopper's able to open and close the door as he pleases.
I think what he said is, oh, the door has opened. Oh, I do want to know that right before this, though, like, Frankie kind of forces Chopper to help him. Chopper's like, I want to save Robin. There was a tear.
Yes, because Chopper's like,
so
well,
adorable.
I'm still mad at you for what you did.
Yeah, to Usopp. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. Yeah. And then he's all, you had to work with me because you want to help Robin, right? And then I have Chopper's tear. Chopper's just always great.
Yes, he cries.
By going back, he got those drinks, and then gives it to Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Cola, you know?
Yeah, the cola. He throws the bottles, and we see they're orange, I think. So
In the air.
yeah, and Frankie puts them on,
Could be orange
like
cola.
in his fridge compartment
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And something happens. What happens?
His hair changed, first of all. And he talks about freshness is most important. Vegetable punch. And his moves are like vegetable / like healthy. And he gets annoyed. Throws it back
They're
at
not
Chopper.
powerful.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want healthiness or freshness or something similar to that. I need power. And asks for a Coke. And then the next time it was, what do we see? Yeah.
He doesn't say what it is, but I assume it's tea because he gets all calm.
So yeah, he actually, I think, said tea. I saw lime green, but we saw that he became like a farmer, and then or something. You're right, because he got calm and was getting ready for tea time.
Yeah.
And Chopper, he says he's funny.
Yeah. And he's like, just give me cola. And you can see Chopper like thinking about his reactions.
And wanting to see what the other ones might do.
Yeah. Frankie says, like, I can see you thinking about experimenting with other drinks.
I want to see.
I'd like to see what does coffee do?
Okay, so no one can see my face right now, right? But oh my gosh, it'll come up again. Don't worry, Josellie. People who have seen the episodes, the manga, probably are thinking about what I'm thinking about right now with Frankie and drinks. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I'm
okay.
excited.
It's coming.
I will look forward to more drink experiments. So he finally gets his cola.
Yep.
And powers up.
Mm-hmm.
And defeats Fukuro with a strong hammer, I think he has. And that's the end.
But I want to mention that refrigerator, it has a ladder on the side.
Does it?
Yeah, because I actually took a screenshot of it and was trying to figure out if it was like a giant's kitchen. But here, I'm going to show you. It looks like this.
Oh my god, it is very, very, very
And look at that
big.
ladder. Because for a moment, I was wondering, how did they get the food in the freezer?
It makes sense that... Oh, and look at Kumadori's hair is
Yeah.
sticking out of the
Stuck
fridge.
out in between. But anyhow, ladder.
Makes sense that they would need it.
But I appreciate that detail with the ladder.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Because how would you be able to get to the freezer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are done.
To be continued. On home video, One Piece episode of East Blue as well as episode of Skypiea are now up for pre-order. Episode of East Blue comes out September 24th, dubbed for the first time, with an exclusive 20th anniversary documentary featuring the English cast and the Funimation crew. Episode of Skypiea is coming out November 28th, dubbed also for the first time with exclusive dub outtakes. Get them both at Funimation.com/shop for your collection. Episode 289. Zoro busts out a new technique. The sword's name is Sniper King? That is the sword's name. To answer that question.
This is one of my favorite moments from the funny moments and like from the fights for this arc. Going back, Chopper's impressed by Frankie's move.
He's super impressed. He's like, that's amazing. I mean, he
Chopper's
did
so
bust
cute.
out a super powerful hit right there.
Yes.
But Fukuro still stands. I thought he was defeated at this point, but he wasn't. He stands and Frankie pulls out his cannon shoulders. Although he says he has to dislocate his shoulders.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it hurts to dislocate his joints.
I'm like, that's not very convenient. And he says he has this tracking missiles. And Chopper's like, oh my god, so the missiles like follow him? I hadn't even heard about this technology before. And I was the same. I was like, whoa, tracking technology. That's like high tech. Just turns out the tracking was manual. It means Frankie runs behind.
He's the one chasing. It reminds me of that centaur moment.
Yes.
Which makes sense, but
I mean, does it make sense though?
I noted in here, I don't know if we've seen it before here, but did you notice what was on his shoulder blades?
Like some letters?
Yeah.
I did notice, but I didn't know what it meant.
I don't remember if it was ever brought up again, but I should have done more research. But it says BF-36, I believe. Do you remember where BF comes from?
Like the battle Frankie?
Yeah!
Oh, got it. Does that mean like that's the 36th version of the weapon?
I feel like that might be, but I don't remember what his last battle Frankie was.
Me either.
So that's the extra research I should have done. But I feel like the BF stands for maybe Battle Frankie. We don't know, or I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing maybe. Did we see those? Did we see him without his shirt before? Like, what's that? Did he have BF-36 on his shoulders before? Did it just pop up with his joints?
That's a good question. I don't think we've seen him without a shirt before, so we wouldn't know at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So he's doing the tracking missiles.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Fukuro using his power shave up to 6 powers.
Yeah.
And he's just talking.
About how stealthy he is.
Yeah, from a distance, right?
Yeah. You won't be able to find me. Chopper's like, he's right there.
He just chops him. And then Fukuro didn't expect it at all because I think he was paying attention too much to Frankie. But he was just hiding.
Yeah. Behind the wall. He makes himself into like a solid ball and rolls onto Frankie, and they both fall
into the sea.
It's
kind of high up.
Yes, they fell from very high up.
Yeah.
And the current is super strong because it's going towards the waterfalls.
Yep.
So Frankie's like trying to swim, I think he says Frankie butterfly, and starts doing like the butterfly stroke.
that he trained, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, with Yokozuna.
Yeah. Most of this episode is about Fukuro and Frankie. And then, good for Frankie, he catches Fukuro, who's essentially walking in air.
Yes.
Right? And uses a chain and just hangs on. So.
Yes. Yeah, because he tries swimming, but it's super hard. He does like his coup de bout move where he basically farts a lot and that pushes him forward. But yeah, he ends up like hanging on to Fukuro and makes him take him to shore. We do see Kumadori open the door before we cut back to Zoro and Sniper King trying to figure their stuff out. And they're like, well, let's make a run for it because we can't fight like this. Because they're stuck together.
And they're also, while they're running away, Kaku and Jabra are actually also bickering about who's going to fight.
Right, because they can't separate them. So now only one of them can fight them.
There's only one toy. And so, but as they're arguing, Usopp has this brilliant plan. Oh, I know. Who's stronger, a giraffe or a wolf?
Yeah. He's like, I wonder. And Sora's like, what are you doing? He's like, just follow along. And he's basically trying to make them fight.
Yeah,
fight
so they're
them.
distracted.
But then Zoro basically yells out the plan out loud. He's like, oh,
I get
it. Like, you're trying to make them fight by pitting them against each other. And Usopp's like, why are you saying this plan out loud?
And then of course Kaku and Jabba are like, oh, we almost got tricked. I'm like, you did.
But Usopp tries again. He's like,
with survival plan number 2.
Yeah. Have a plan B. And he's like, I wonder who is cooler.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same plan, but substitute cooler with cooler.
And I'm like, why would they fall for it? You wouldn't think they would, but no, he plays it off really well. Stronger is not enough. Strength means coolness and beauty.
Oh my god.
But so then they start arguing which one is cooler / beautiful, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you choose?
Oh, that's a hard
Real quick,
one.
real
That's a
quick.
hard question. I really like wolves because they're like very majestic.
I feel I want to say wolves too, but giraffes are also beautiful.
They are so beautiful,
Yeah.
and they're like, they move. Their movements are more like soft, rather than wolves are more cunning. I feel
Giraffes.
they
My
look
impression is
more graceful.
elegant.
Yeah, graceful giraffes, and they're so tall.
They are tall, and I like their patterns. And they're super long eyelashes, right?
Yes. Conclusion: they are both cool.
Yes. Neither would win.
Neither would.
And so they're distracted. Good job, Usopp. I guess your plan worked.
Yeah.
And they're about to run, but Zoro stops him and mentions, well, they're only going to be distracted for so long. It's not going to work. And he proposes doing rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes. Oh my god. He proposes they make rock, paper, scissors,
And
shoot.
then, yep.
And the winner, like the loser, will have his hand cut so they can liberate themselves from the cuffs. And I'm like, whoa.
And not only that, no, it's brilliant though, because once they are able to escape from the cuff, he would grab the hand, run off to Chopper, and have Chopper sew it back on.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly how it works.
Exactly. He's like, no worries. Like, obviously, Chopper can put it back on. But yeah, that's not how it works. So Usopp's freaking out.
And then
he's like, no, not gonna happen.
And then Zoro proposes a second plan.
Second
but
plan.
Sogeking won't even listen because he heard the first one. I don't know if the second plan would have been better.
So we see what the second plan is, and we see Zoro standing with his swords. I like it because
Was that the second plan?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
'Cause I really like that the camera sort of zooms out.
Yeah.
So we see Zoro standing,
Oh.
and then he has sword on one hand, sword on his mouth, and
Like in his mouth, like
Sogeking sword on his left, right hand, I think.
I think he's right. Yeah.
And like it zooms out, and Sniper King goes shing as if he was a sword, an actual sword.
I got it too. So he says shaking, and Zoro tells him, "You have to keep your posture straight because I gotta, be able to fight with that arm." And so. For Usopp, at this point, he says, "Someone give me a lawyer. I'm going to sue you." Did that?
Yes.
You ended up too? And I'm just like, this is so funny. They're pirates. Have you seen any lawyers?
No, that I know. Not that I
Right?
know of. So it's an interesting thing
Yeah.
that there are lawyers in the One Piece world. But yeah, so he's not. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, there's laws.
Because
so-
he needs.
Yeah.
Zoro needs movement
Yep.
on his hand. So, and he's got Sogeking attached to it. So it would make sense to sort of try and make him into a sword.
But I know we're used to it, but Zoro's really strong.
I know.
Right?
That's a heavy.
That's just like,
You've got a person
yeah.
on one hand.
But we see the huge
single hand.
lifts that he uses when training, so I can get it. I kind of get it. And of course, at this point, Kaku and Jabra are looking at them. They're no longer, I think, arguing with each other. And I think that's where we end with that fight. Mm-hmm. And we quickly, before the episode ends, see where Frankie's at.
Yes.
So I think when we go back to Frankie, we see that they're still in the air because he grabbed onto
Right.
Fukuro. And Fukuro is kind of not sure if they can make it, especially with the extra weight.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow he makes it over, and Frankie uses some extra coup de basto, coup de burst. I don't know which pronunciation to do. And somehow makes it over, so if they fall, I think they would land on the ground. And so with that, in the air, Frankie attacks with coup de vento. And basically shoots down Fukuro into the ground.
Yes.
And Frankie goes super and has kind of won that fight.
Yes. Finally.
Yeah, and then it ends with a preview.
About the third Rumble
Yeah.
Ball. Oh my god. Can't wait to get there because this part, I really like this part.
Episode 290, Uncontrollable, Choppa's Forbidden Rumble.
Forbidden.
Okay, so we get a little recap. Frankie beating Fukuro, Kumanori coming out of the fridge, plumper.
Yes.
Than what we saw before.
Yes. He is definitely a bit fatter. Ate all the food in the fridge.
And then Sniper King's shaking, and in English, what is it?
Shing.
And Kumadori.
So we start with Kumadori. And he's doing this whole speech about how he is a shishi. And I looked this up because I didn't know what a shishi was.
Like the beast. Okay.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a statue in the form of a lion. It's sort of a Japanese statue. Is that right?
So
the shishi.
The shishi is I think it comes from maybe even Chinese culture, but it's a guardian lion. And
Gotcha.
the stone sculpture is of the creature.
Okay, got it. Yeah, he says he's a shishi lion. So Chopper is contemplating if he should eat more Rumble Bowls because
He's already had
two. And if he continues to eat Rumble Bowls, then he won't be able to control his transformations. But he decides that he has to risk it.
Yeah.
Like, he has to save Robin. They need to defeat these guys. So he does it. And I really like he does like the cracking with his mouth. And he needs to transform into, he needs to do an arm point, but he can't control
his transformation.
So he keeps like transforming, saying arm point, but transforming into this random.
He mentions I have 7 transformations. So I have 1 out of 7 chance of getting it each time he transforms. So he just randoms.
So yeah, and every time he gets it wrong, then he gets attacked by Kumadori. Yeah, and he's running out of time, but he keeps trying.
Yeah, and then he eventually I think gets to it and uses his Coven Rosio Metal attack, which was his best bet, I believe, against Kumadori.
Yeah.
But
Does it work?
I think he's weakened. I liked how I wrote down what Kumadori says after Choppa's attack. It was indeed a beautiful blizzard of cherry blossom petals. And I like that because, well, cherry blossoms I think he's mentioned before, but it just reminded me of Choppa's history.
Yeah.
With the cherry blossoms.
Yeah. So Chopper's super stressed out because his best attack didn't work. Like, he was counting on that. And he thinks back to Dr. Kureha and, the last time he lost control of the Rumble Bowls. Apparently, like, he destroyed a whole village and he got a very stern warning.
Yeah.
About that. But he's still thinking, like, I know I turn into a monster. If I do this again, like, he's gonna eat his 4th Rumble Ball. But he decides it's worth it. Like, he has to save his friend, and saving his friends is worth losing control and probably turning into this fierce monster.
I mean, if you have no other choice, it's like, so Dr. Kureha mentions if you become this monster, you have no, I think, consciousness. So you would just attack anything, including friends. So it's a balance of, do I risk it so we can defeat enemies, even though my friends may potentially get hurt? And he believes it's worth the risk, and he transforms.
We see a preview of this Chopper monster.
Yeah, you saw it.
I know, it's so scary. And that's where it ends.
I was surprised the first time I saw it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I
was super surprised. I wanted to see what it could do. That's where the episode ends. So before we continue, let's take a little break. So today we have a guest for y'all. Please help me welcome Mike McFarland. Welcome, Mike.
Woohoo, welcome me.
So tell us a little about your experience with One Piece. How long ago did you start working on One Piece?
Ooh, I guess at this point, as far as the length of time I've been working at Funimation, I can break things down into old building and new building. So I've been working on it since old building.
Got it.
So I would say probably since like 2007 or so.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a long time.
And you've worked on different aspects of the show, right?
Yeah, I helped select a lot of the initial main casting and sent those off for approval, et cetera, and set the tone for the way that we were going to handle the dub. And I've been the voice director for the dub for a few hundred episodes, sometimes spread out here and there, and sometimes for like 100 episodes plus at a pop.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Wow.
But also as a voice actor, can you tell me a little bit like about each of the things that you did? Like, how was it all different? Which one did you enjoy the most?
The first casting that happened, besides like a bunch of random pirates, because we have to sometimes just be a bunch of random pirates or Marines or something, was Buggy.
Right.
Buggy the Clown. That was one of the ones I believe was sent off for approval and, stamped of yeses across the board, etc., etc. Voicing that character and seeing the path that the storyline has allowed him to be a part of along the way, it's been fun. I didn't know initially when I started it of how much he was going to pop up or how or how little. It just seemed like a fun character that my voice seemed to suit well for, and I certainly enjoy playing him.
Yeah, Buggy is one of like the first villains that we meet, and I remember being super impressed because we saw Luffy's Devil Fruit power, so this is the first power that we meet, and then we have Buggy, and he's like, oh, like another different kind of power.
People, there must be a bunch of these.
Yeah, right? I was like, how many of these are? Maybe 10?
Maybe 10. Maybe just 10 devil fruits and powers.
Right.
That's
what
probably
I
going to be it.
At that point,
That's
I was like, maybe. And now I don't even know if there's a finite number.
I'm sure someone knows a finite number of what exists thus far, but, I'm sure that if another power needed to be made, then lo and behold, we're going to have that devil fruit in existence.
Right. Of all the One Piece characters, what other characters have you voiced other than Buggy?
I took over the role of Helmeppo.
Oh.
It was initially done by Troy Baker back when Troy was doing anime. Now Troy does lots and lots of video games and prelay cartoon stuff and not nearly as much anime. So to help out with that, I have taken over that role. Let's see, I'm also Richie the lion.
Oh,
Yeah.
Richie. I like his dreams.
Yeah, Richie's fun. He says a lot without really saying much.
Yes.
Like a Pokemon. You just
True.
kind of like, the embodiment of emotions is said in what little noises they make.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's just his name or something. Who else of note? That might be about it.
Who's your favorite of those three?
Probably Buggy.
Probably Buggy.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, like, oh, these are all my children and I love them equally
Right.
when I spend a lot more time with one child.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be my favorite.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
How have you seen like the evolution of Buggy since that first day where we met him? I mean, he's remained, at least from what I've seen of him since I'm watching for the first time, he's remained as silly. But I know that the future holds a lot for him. He's now a warlord of the sea.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that transformation? How have you seen it?
I think that Oda's a genius. I don't know how all of these chess pieces managed to stay on the board. There are so many characters and so many plot lines and so many things involved in how people know each other backstory-wise and which people do and do not know each other, which characters have interaction, and finding a place for the whole story to intertwine and take place over a span of, hundreds of chapters and hundreds of episodes. I don't know how, like, that just blows my mind.
Right?
Yeah.
How it goes from point A to that.
Yeah.
Like all that happens in the middle. It's always, I always think that I know what's going to happen or that I can predict the ways One Piece does things, but I surely never do.
No, it's a lot to keep up with.
And we just announced that we are bringing One Piece Stampede to the U.S.
Yes.
Super exciting.
Stampede!
How do you feel about that? Like, we're going to have dub again.
I love dub One Piece. I love Stampede. I got to watch that doing, pre-production for the movie. And I think it's just such a cool movie. It brings together so many things. Like,
It does.
As far as One Piece movies go, sometimes we have recaps and retellings of arcs and stuff like that. This is, its own story. But within its own story, let's bring in as many characters as possible. And
Right.
so even like, hey, I'm here too. People just have one line.
Right,
here,
even
there.
if it's just a glimpse
Yeah.
of their back. I like how I think we get to see, I also had the chance to see the movie, and I think we see like the back of Connis at some point. I'm like, oh, that's that person. And we're like, oh.
And it didn't sit down specifically for this, but I know of at least 3 Panda Man instances. Gotta have some Panda Man in there.
Oh,
Just in the background somewhere.
I didn't know about Panda Man.
Panda Man. Panda Man's gonna be there in those group shots.
There's so much for you to catch on this movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Who's your favorite Straw Hat?
Aw.
I know, it's a tough
That's not
question.
fair.
Here we have sort of a ranking system that you can adjust as it changes, because I feel like my favorite Straw Hat changes depending on what's happening,
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
So you can pick one, but it doesn't have to be like permanent. Don't worry.
I don't know.
You don't know? Can we make it top 3 then?
Luffy, Chopper,
Yes, Chopper.
and Robin.
Yes. Oh my God, great
And I don't even
choices.
like that I had to pick 3.
I mean, you can't pick everybody.
Yes, it can. All the Straw Hats are my favorite Straw Hats. I don't want any of them
That's
to
a
go
great
missing.
question. So you've worked closely with the rest of the English cast. Who would you say is the most like their character? Is it you?
Oh God, I hope not. I think Stephanie and Robin are a lot alike.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I'd
Yeah.
love to be like Robin.
Like, confident while still being vulnerable, strong while being comforting and soft when needed. Stephanie is just like, a really good person. And that's some of the qualities that Robin has.
Yes.
Robin is just good.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is very good. She is constantly my top Straw Hat, let's say. It's between her and Chopper most of the time.
Okay,
Just
so
because
you and I see eye to eye a little bit.
Yes,
on
because
some
Chopper is
stuff.
so pure and so great, and he's a doctor. He's
Yeah.
a tiny, great doctor.
Even though you made me pick, we still see eye to eye on the ones that we like. So.
But you can change it. Don't worry, Mike. It'll be okay.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to say to fans before we leave?
You guys are always so kind and so wonderful. I very much enjoy working on One Piece. It's one of my favorite things to work on. And everyone is so complimentary. And I know people have been asking about the dub for quite some time. And hopefully we can, at least with this movie, give you a little dub something.
That's true. Well, thank you so much for being here as a guest on One Piece at a Time. We truly appreciate it and appreciate everything you do for One Piece.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Let's move on to episode 291. Boss Luffy returns. Is it a dream or reality? Lottery Ruckus.
So, did you like the filler episodes last
I did.
episode?
I
And you
did.
talked about it with Aaron, right? Aaron's first time on his podcast episode?
Yes, last episode.
Yeah.
Yes, last episode we had filler 2. We had like that backstories. On this episode we have this like sort of feudal Japan mini story. I really liked it because we get to see some people that we haven't seen in a while. Yeah, I really liked it. Also, when I heard the title, Boss Luffy Returns, for a second I thought we were gonna see like the Straw Hat Theater Mafia again.
Oh, okay.
I was like, ooh.
Which boss are we talking about?
But it wasn't, which I was a little
I'm sorry.
disappointed because I really like Lufione and all that crew, Italian crew. But yes, so on this episode, we are in the land of Grand Japan. The narrator says it's similar to a story from another country, which I'm guessing is similar to Japan history.
I'm not the best at history, including Japan's history. But usually a good way for me to tell is the government, like who's the leader, et cetera, et cetera. And so at this point, we don't know yet. There is a short transition period where it became more, I don't know how to say it, westernized in a way. We'll find out because we'll see.
Out.
There's a little cafe.
There's the little
Nami.
cafe.
Oh, Nami is a waitress.
Sanji-kun is the cook.
Makes sense.
And Luffy's a customer, right? I
Yeah,
think.
he's just sitting there.
He's just sitting there. And we see that the buggy crew is there.
Yeah.
And they're sort of complaining because they haven't been able to get a lot of, crime done on this town. So they haven't been able to get like a lot of treasure or anything. And while this is happening, Luffy goes find his friend Orika. Right?
Orika.
To come out and play. And she's taking care of somebody whom she calls Pops.
Yep. Do you recognize her?
No, who is she?
I thought she was the girl from Zoro's Island. Not Zoro's Island, but
Kuina?
the onigiri girl. So you know how the first time Luffy meets Zoro,
Oh, right. The little
Yeah.
girl who
isn't it her?
he got in trouble. I think so. That's right. You're totally right. The girl with the rice balls.
I believe that's her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is her. Oh my God. I hadn't even noticed that. You are right. No wonder. It makes sense now. So her mother tells her, like,
Yep, it's her.
It's
Because
okay.
her name was Rika.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, Orika, that makes sense. So her mother tells her, like, she should go play, and Pops tells her too. So she goes out, and so they're out, like, just marching around, having fun, singing along.
And do you recognize the other kids?
Yes, they're
okay.
Usopp's crew from back on
they're
the island.
underlings.
Yes. And
then
they find a sick camel, and it's Eyelash from
Yeah.
Alabasta.
as you mentioned already, I loved seeing all these characters from before.
Yeah, and they're
All
like
mixed up.
Yeah, I like too that they are super surprised that they're seeing a camel because they're like, "What is this?" Because of course there wouldn't be any camels there in feudal
You wouldn't
Japan,
expect it.
and you wouldn't
Yeah.
expect it. They're like, "We need to help this camel, so let's just take it to the restaurant," which makes sense, I guess. So while they're doing that, Usopp comes with news that the clowns are taking Pops away. So they go running, and Rika's like, "What are you doing? Let him go." Luffy helps them out, and they end up leaving him and just leaving.
Yep.
They go back to the restaurant, and Sanji prepares some leftovers for the
Matsuge.
camel.
Yeah.
So he can recuperate, but he doesn't want them. And then he eats all the fancy food.
Yeah, that was out for delivery.
Yeah.
Like they were the luxurious food for delivery that were ordered, and he just eats all of them.
And Sanji's super mad. He's
Of
like, "I'm
course.
gonna cook you." But Onami thinks it's okay.
Surprisingly.
Yes.
Right.
Surprisingly. But then we figure out why. She thinks it's good luck
Yep.
because she bought a lottery ticket.
Yep.
And it has the number of the camel, right? Is it that?
I think it was.
Or
was
is
it
that
a
the name
number?
of the lottery?
I think I.
She's
the-
got 029.
Was it 029?
Yeah.
I wrote down the camel, like the number, like
Oh,
whatever the
then maybe
lottery
I made
number
that
was, and it was camel 1356.
Oh, then maybe that's it.
But
Because I remember she said, like, she had the camel or the number of the camel. And so the camel must mean good luck. So, like, just eat whatever. Let him do whatever.
I swear at some point I had seen Lucky Item camel. But regardless, she sees it and wants that camel luck, and lo and behold, she wins the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's so happy, loves it, hugs it, and then I think Matsuge has like hearts for his eyes,
Because she hugs him.
and then proceeds to eat the
Yeah.
ticket, the lottery ticket.
Yeah, because she tells him, like, "Yes, we won. You were really good luck. You can eat whatever you want." And he eats the lottery
Which
ticket.
she needs so she can claim her prize, but whatever. We do see it. I think this is where we first see a small glimpse of Robin.
Yeah.
Kind of like sneaking around.
Yeah, Robin is sneaking around.
Investigating.
And we also see Buggy is making some sort of deal with somebody. I think it's to get back at Luffy or something. We don't hear the details of the plan, but we know he's scheming, and we see where it's going. And we also see like a tiny bit of Chopper. Chopper, we've seen him twice on this episode, and he's just running around because he's super busy.
Yeah.
But we don't know why. He's just busy. And everybody's always wondering, like, I wonder where Blue Nose
Yeah.
Senpai is. And he's just, I'm busy. And that's all we see.
Was it senpai or sensei?
Oh, Sensei.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true, Sensei.
Ooh, Blue Nose Senpai.
So Luffy goes out on an errand with a camel. And while that is happening, the clowns kidnap Orika. And it turns out Luffy's a policeman. That's what it meant. Boss Luffy. I didn't know that's what it meant. But Luffy is the policeman
he?
of the
I
town.
didn't take that down.
So Buggy's plan is to capture Orika because apparently you can do that if you've got an outstanding bet. You can take your children as
For Pops?
payment. Yeah.
Yeah, I see in like I watch Japanese historical dramas, and anything is essentially collateral. Children can be labor, etc., etc.
So that's the reasoning here. But Luffy attacks Buggy, and so he's like, "Oh, you attacked me, and I'm just a citizen trying to get my debt collected. So did you see that, Mr. Commissioner?" And the commissioner, who was right there.
Who is Mr. Number 3, right? Number 3.
Yes,
yeah.
it was number 3,
Mr. 3.
with the
Yeah.
little hair. He's like, "Yeah, I saw it all," and he exiles Luffy. Luffy doesn't get it. He's like, "How am I wrong when you're the one kidnapping the little girl?" The commissioner's like, "How dare you question my authority or whatnot?" And that's when
Dun dun dun.
someone else steps up.
Yes. Yes.
And it's Princess Vivi.
Yeah.
Who's apparently the princess of this town, too.
I have it down. So this is where I get a better idea. I kind of, when I saw the commissioner in the outfit, I kind of figured, but she's the daughter of Shogun Cobra. So that means for a shogun, I looked this up. I think it's around the 1100 and between 1100 and 1800 is when that system was put in place.
Okay.
So the shogun is essentially like the army leader, the military leader, and serves the emperor. But at a point, they become so powerful also politically because of all this, power in the military, and the emperor isn't as it's like an interesting political play. There's actually a current simulcast show I'm watching that has a shogun, or that's set in that period, but just really brief what I know / can share. So that's good to know. And I liked how, man, this is talking too much about history shows, but there's a very famous history drama in Japan about Mitokomon, and then I think he was a former shogun. I can't remember. Goodness, oh my gosh, I'm sure I'm shaming my grandparents. I can't remember. I'm sorry about you.
Oh, MJ. I'm sure they're still very proud of you.
And actually also my parents, they'll be like, what the fudge? How do you not know this person? Oh my gosh. Oh, he was a daimyo. Oh, phew. Okay. Sorry, grandma. Grandparents. God, I can hear. So Mitokomon, it's a very long running series. Man, we're going off on a tangent. But it seemed very much like that, where a common scene is he comes up and he has two bodyguards, and they say, "Do you know who you're talking to?" And shows this emblem thing and presents this very known historical figure. So it reminded me of that with Vivi and Pell and
Chaka.
Yeah, behind her.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. It's a long offside comment.
Okay. So apparently they made an investigation that showed that the commissioner accepted a bribe from Buggy to make all this happen and get rid of Straw Hat, Luffy. And anyways, Rika isn't even Pop's daughter, so none of this applies. So Pop sort of takes off his cover, and we see he's this panda man that everybody calls Pops.
Have you seen Panda Man before?
No. Where does Panda Man come from? I've seen him on the clothes. Like, I know.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. Like, I think John mentioned once the Straw Hats were doing a barbecue on the beach, and Luffy had this, how do you call that? The thing.
I have no idea.
No.
So an apron.
An apron. Oh,
you
Jesus,
guys should have seen her
Jocelyn.
like miming with her hand. It was cute. She put something over her head and she tried to tie it. I was like, oh,
Playing charades to get apron across.
it's all good. So Pandamon is I think it's just a joke character that Oda Sensei created, and he just inserts him, and it's fun to just see Pandamon. But actually, it'll be fun for you to just keep in mind.
The Panda Man might just appear.
Yep,
That's cool. Because he doesn't talk or anything. He's just there. And everybody's like, hey, Pops. So everything's solved. And Luffy then sends Buggy away with a Gum Gum bazooka. And Buggy says, thanks for all your hard work. Is that his thing or something? He yells that as Luffy takes him away. And he's like, thanks for all your hard work.
Does that mean he said? So if I don't, since I don't remember what the sub said, if I translated that into Japanese, I imagine it was something like "Otsukare-sama deshita," but then I wouldn't just say that as someone's being blown away.
Yeah, he says it both times that this happens.
Maybe he did it. Okay, and then everyone goes back to the shop, and we discovered that the camel is a lord's pet. The lord's pet.
Yes,
and their lost and found prize.
Of 1 million Rio berries.
Yes.
For finding him. And Onami is super happy, and Orika decides that they can share the reward. And she finds somebody else to help outside, and it's Zoro, who's just lying there. And Luffy invites him over to celebrate this foreign holiday that they're going to be celebrating.
Christmas.
That it's Christmas. They have like Christmas decorations around.
Where did this come from?
Right. And then that's the end. They figure out it's Christmas. And it turns out that was the reason Blue Nose Sensei was so busy, because it's a very busy time for reindeers, Christmas. So I wonder if he was actually helping Santa, because then we see Santa go across at the end of the episode.
It's so fun.
And I'm like, wait, this was a Christmas episode this whole time?
Wait, when did it go out?
I wonder, because it was a Christmas episode, basically. Like, it starts snowing and everything. And I'm like, oh, it was a Christmas episode.
Oh, it aired supposedly in Japan December 24th.
Oh, there you go.
Back in 2006.
It was a Christmas episode, so that makes sense. Chopper was busy, maybe getting presents. So that's the end of this episode.
I just noticed one thing that I want to share with Josellie, which is I took this note screenshot and I just noticed that for the cafe, that sign, that's Nami's tattoo.
That is Nami's tattoo, the new one. Oh,
yeah.
The details.
Yeah. Okay, that's the end of that episode. Episode 292, a big rice cake tossing race at the castle. Red Nose's plot.
So this was a New Year's episode, and it was fun too. So it's New Year's in Grand Japan, and there's a rice cake tossing competition, which basically means rice cakes are going to be thrown from the castle, and one of those rice cakes has a prize inside. It's a diamond.
Supposedly.
Yep. So people are like just, eating rice cakes and hoping to get the jackpot one.
I wrote down it's maybe worth 10 million berries.
I know.
That's a lot of berries.
That is a lot of berries. And we see some Skype characters.
Yeah, you saw. Oh my gosh.
They're explaining the rice cake toss to Connie and her dad.
Yeah.
So they're there. Robin is still like sneaking around.
Yep.
And Usopp's about to eat some porridge that somebody gave him. I don't know. Sanji gave him? I don't know. He was gonna eat some porridge, and Luffy's they're explaining that the rice cakes are on their way from the restaurant. So Luffy's on the roof keeping watch for them so that they're safe. And Luffy's like, well, I want to eat too. And Usopp's like, I can't just throw the porridge to you.
But then Robin's hands just appears right out of Usopp's hands, and it lifts it to Luffy.
And he's like, yay.
But no one comments?
No one comments on
it. That his hand just sprouted out of his hands.
Random hands. Magic hands.
Also, I believe the porridge is being given out by, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on names, but the military, like the man we meet in Choppa's arc, he's the one, I think he has a porridge
What's
stand.
His name?
I forget start with his name. D? Someone, so he was on Drum Island.
I remember, he was the mayor.
Yeah. And he is just giving out porridge.
So Nico Robin delivers it. Nobody
comments.
Nobody comments on it. I guess it's normal for magical things to happen. And Bucky is planning to grab all the rice cakes before they get to the castle as the safest way to get the jackpot.
Makes sense. It's the easiest way.
So they attack. We see Onami's cart being pulled by Sanji and also pushed by Chopper. And they attack. But the guys are able to defend the cart. But they have a plan B. And we see Hachi, the octopus. And I was glad to see him because he made me laugh a lot back in the Arlong arc.
Oh, man. I want to say something, but I'm not gonna.
He's in a kite, right? And he basically hijacks a cart and flies it away with everybody still holding on to it.
So I just want to comment on my comment that I have in here. So it's a taco flying a taco. So taco is the Japanese word for octopus.
Okay.
It's also the Japanese word for kite.
Yeah. So it's sort of a play on words right there. Got it.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
He carries the cart.
So he's carrying the cart. And Luffy catapults himself from the roof when he sees what's happening and basically breaks the kite as he's grabbing onto Hachi. And we also see Gadatsu.
Yes, he doesn't speak, so he was kind of forgotten almost.
He was holding onto the kite, but he didn't let go when that happened. So he's crashing down with it too.
He took a moment. Oh, I should have let go.
What is it that he says? Like his catchphrase. What is it? Careless. So careless.
Was that what he says?
Yeah, so careless.
How come I don't remember that as his catchphrase?
Maybe that's he says something different in the sub.
I can't remember.
But he
what
says
he says.
careless. He says it back on his Skypea arc too. So Ingram, Chaka, and Pell get the cart through though, and they take it to the castle. So the delivery's done, and Nami's like, "Hey, where's my payment?" But Ingram tells her that Vivi will pay her back at the restaurant. But Buggy keeps on with his attack.
I mean, yeah, it's a 10 million berry diamond.
I mean, it makes sense. It's inside a rice cake. It shouldn't be that difficult to get.
If you steal the whole thing.
Yeah. So he basically starts shooting his cannon at the castle, which makes Zoro think that the rice cake event, has started. So he hits down there.
So, okay, I am just going to mention what I noticed when I saw this is so there was an explosion somewhere off in the distance and Zoro facing the opposite direction. And so what I just thought was, I thought he was just lost. He was going the wrong direction, then noticed that explosion. Oh, that's the way I should go. Was what I immediately thought.
That makes sense.
I don't remember if it exactly is the case, but Zoro getting lost is not uncommon, as we know.
So he sees Usopp, and Usopp's like, "Hey, maybe help us to get rid of these guys." And he's like, "Yeah, sure thing," because they're trying to, steal the rice cake. So Zoro's like, "Oh yeah, for sure." But he obviously still gets lost.
And then ends up in the wrong place. Gets kicked
out by Ingram's wife and some other old lady.
It was, did you notice it was the Alabasta? What number was she? With the pink hair?
Mrs. Christmas.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
no, not
yes.
Christmas.
Yes, I remember her.
What was her name? There's so many characters that come up. This is such a good quiz episode. Watch and name all the characters. Have fun, guys, playing that game.
So, yeah, he gets thrown out.
And then Buggy, we see, has made it to the top of that castle, demanding to be given that one rice cake. Mm-hmm. And then the Shogun just points, it's there, but it's empty.
Yes, it's supposed to be in a box, but the box is empty. So they shoot the cannon, and basically they just begin the rice cake toss. So now there's nothing Buggy can do.
And like the quotes, though, Cobra's words. Because what happened was all these blasts, and I think Buggy also got blasted through, right?
He gets blasted again.
Through the roof. Mm-hmm. So there's a hole.
Yeah. And Ingram's super worried about the state of the castle. Yeah. But Cobra says, like, it doesn't matter the appearance of the castle because...
Alabasta Castle.
Yes, because I think he says something like a country is its people, not the castle.
Yes. He looks at all the people, a country is its people, and the people's vitality is indeed the source of the country's dignity. So even if the tower might be damaged, it's okay. It's the people. If they're happy, lively, and energetic, that's all that really matters.
Mm-hmm. So everybody's just eating rice cakes now. Luffy's just like putting them all in his mouth, and we see Chopper eating too, because they're trying to find, like Nami's like, everybody needs to eat rice cakes and try and find the diamond. And it's funny because at some point Chopper goes like, I can't eat anymore, and then Luffy comes over, or somebody, Sanji comes huge, over like I got more rice cakes, Nami.
Like, I also like when Luffy stretches out his mouth and is just catching all of it. How does it fit?
Yes. But we see that the jackpot rice cake, Cobra has it.
Yep.
So he's
and
like...
it's pink, too.
It's pink, so like, super recognizable.
Yeah. Whatever.
So he throws it down to the crowd, and Zoro gets it.
It bounces on roofs, and it falls onto the ground right by Zoro, who's happy that he finally gets a rice cake, and then bites into it.
Super hard. Throws it away.
Because, why would you want a hard rice cake? And we see as it floats in the air that it had the huge diamond. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
It was almost the size of the rice cake.
Yeah. It's so big.
And he just threw it away. And he threw it so hard that it just went off
we don't know where
the
it
island.
Went. Yeah.
And Robin just saw it and she's like, well, I guess he doesn't want
He
the
has no
jackpot.
interest in money.
Yeah. And that's the end. Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit sad, though, that we didn't see Robin a lot. Like, she was
As much
kept
in here?
apart. I was a little bit sad for that. I guess it's, parallel to what's happening right now. She's apart from everybody else in the present.
I didn't really think about that.
So it would make sense for her to be apart here.
I wonder if there was a reason why she didn't appear. I just figured that spy kind of hidden role suited her, and
True.
that's why she just didn't show up as much. You know what we didn't talk about for these two past episodes is their outfits.
That's true.
Did you like their outfits?
I did. They're very traditional Japanese. I like the kimonos the girls are wearing. I think
And then
Robin's
Buggy's
is green with flowers.
I liked Buggy's.
You like Buggy's?
Yeah.
Buggy's is very colorful too.
It's super colorful.
And he has like as if he was,
Like in
he has like the
Kabuki?
big hair. Mm-hmm.
I liked it too. Actually, it reminds me currently in the simulcast arc for people who are watching simulcast as well as reading manga, we get to see more of some Japanese themed outfits.
Yeah.
And then actually more things, which you kind of know about. We try to protect you, Josellie, but it's hard to not know about everything.
Some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's the end of these special episodes. I like them. The little break from the story because it's been a long story.
Yeah, and then like watching these, especially at the time of broadcast, I like that they're themed around the things we experience.
The Christmas and New Year's. So that's the end of this episode. And don't forget you can watch all One Piece anime episodes on Funimation.com/One Piece or the Funimation Now app, and check out our blog at funny.to/One Piece Podcast for all the info and binge routes and more. Episode 293, Bubble Master Khalifa. The soap trap closes in on Nami. This is a good one. So we go back to the main story.
Yep, after a nice little fun trip.
Yeah, after a nice fun trip
Break,
to
yeah.
Grand Japan. So Chopper eats another Rumble Ball and he turns into this huge monster.
Yep, a recap.
And he's super scary. Like he does this like low growl, very loud growl. That is scary. Like it makes me believe that he's really a monster. So Kumadori starts attacking him, but like doesn't do anything to him. Like none of Kumadori's attack that seemed so powerful in the last couple episodes, they just don't work.
Nope.
And he, like, I don't think Chopper even moves as he's receiving all these attacks. And then suddenly he's like, just raises his hand, his gigantic paw, and drops it on Kumadori. And that's that. Like, we just see that Chopper is now this super big, hairy monster that is very, very scary and powerful.
I think I remember it being how different he was. Because we know him as like, that tiny little like Chopper.
Yeah. And even his biggest form, like his human form isn't
As big as
scary
that.
or
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
Looks-
So Frankie now has key number 4
Yep.
that he got from Fukuro. And he realizes then that means Khalifa must have number 2 that Usopp and Zoro need. So we cut to Nami and she's now on the floor and she can't move.
Yeah, we haven't seen Khalifa's powers.
We still haven't seen
Yep.
Khalifa's power.
And so Khalifa is in the bath, Nami's like on the ground, and Khalifa just gets out and then changes back or puts on her clothes, and Nami's trying to figure out what is her power. But she does use her perfect Klima Takto to do the thunderstorm, like the clouds up there, and attacks Khalifa. And then we think she got her, but it's revealed to show this soap. This huge bar of soap that says CP9 on it.
Yes, she was inside the soap. And
it just melts away in bubbles to show that she's there and protected.
yes. So Nami takes a guess at what her power is, and she's like, "Wait, did you eat a bubble fruit or something?" And Khalifa's like,
Shock.
"Yeah." She's like, "Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that now that you know, it'll be easier or anything."
She's surprised that she just got it on that first guess, and I'm thinking, what else could it be? You've just made yourself into a bar of soap.
Right.
So in Japanese, it's awa awa no mi. Awa awa.
So basically, the bubbles that she creates with her buddy obey her and can sort of clean off strength. People's strength, or energy.
The way she said it was, it takes off the grime, and it takes out, I guess, the grime, but also your strength. Was how she phrased it. I liked how she demonstrated all the things she could do with Bubble Master Soap Sheep. Because what happened is, when she took that bath for a reason, which was that she, like, all the bubbles that are created from her body, she can control. So then she uses that to put her all around her into the sheep form.
Yeah, and her hands are the horns. I'm like, okay, very creative indeed. Because she's like, I can get very creative with this, and then she does that. I'm like, definitely creative.
I like all these. I love all the devil fruits and how they're used.
So she cleans Nami's legs. And we see that they're super, super smooth and slick, just like Sanji was. They look so weird.
And then Kaifa mentions everything gets a beautiful gloss.
Right. She's like, you should be grateful. Now you have super smooth skin. Like, not sure if grateful is the word, but okay. So back to Monster Chopper. We just see him like beating up Kumadori, like just straight up just punching him nonstop, and Frankie climbs up the tower and he sees Chopper.
Oh yeah, because he finally won.
He's got the key, and so he goes up.
He remembers there was a reindeer there. Wait, what happened to him?
What happened to the reindeer?
And sees the monster.
Sees the monster.
Did you see? So once he gets up there, obviously Chopper's beating up Kumadori. Then like Choppa just finishes and flings. Just, I can't even express it so lightly. It just just away. I really liked that. I wonder if I can get a gif.
Just of him destroying him. Yeah, Frankie's like, what's going on? And Chopper sees him, and he also like throws him
I think
back down.
Yeah, crashes that wall area. Frankie just came up from it, but...
Sorry, Frankie. He can't control himself.
And then the Tower of Law, right? Chopper decides to keep climbing up the tower.
So we just see this huge monster just...
Yep. And climbing. He roars.
It's so scary.
Yeah. And we see Robin's scene where she thinks she heard something. But no, Lucci and Spandam both haven't heard anything. And Spandam mocks, saying, what, did you think Luffy was coming after you?
Right. He starts mocking her.
Basically, it's too late. I think are they at the Bridge of Hesitation?
They're almost there.
But they're, almost at the Gates of Justice, where it's way too late.
So, but it turns out, for real, it was Luffy. He's running down the hallway, and you can see Lucci's face when he hears Luffy. He's sort of pleased that he will get to fight, I think.
I think so too.
So he tells Spandam, like, just go ahead with Robin, and I'll take care of this.
So, and then Luffy comes running and crashes through the door in a very Luffy-like manner to a room where Lucci's just waiting by himself.
And he goes like, I found you, pigeon bastard.
Is that what he says in the sub?
Of course.
Or the dub?
Yeah.
And then to be continued. Last episode for this podcast episode is
so soon.
294, Resounding Bad News. Buster Call invoked.
Oh my god.
Okay.
This part.
Yeah.
I can't even believe that this is how
what
this
just happened in this episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
How
So
this went
starting
down.
from the beginning. Yeah.
So Lucci versus Luffy is where we start. And Lucci's like, I admit that I underestimated you, Straw Hat. Like, you made it all the way here by yourself. And Luffy goes...
And Chimney.
And Chimney, exactly.
He doesn't
by
know.
yourself and this little kid and cat. And he's like, I'm not by myself. Like, soon my whole crew will be here. I don't know what you're talking about. And I can't wait for that to go on. I was sort of expecting that fight was going to be, like, very intense right now. But it wasn't.
Not yet.
Not yet. So we see Chopper climbing the tower.
Yep.
We see Zoro attacking with his
Sniper King
sword. Nami has her silky legs and can't stand. And so we go back to Frankie, who was tossed by Chopper and now is going like up again to try and find Khalifa. And we get a little glimpse of Sanji also on this recap, where he sort of moves his hand so it looks like he might be recuperating, hopefully. But we don't see more of that, at least not on this episode. And then we go back to the Giants, who are still fighting the Marines at the entrance. And the Marines come up with a strategy to attack them like one at a time, all of them, so that they can trap them. And it works. So they are able to trap the Giants, and they surround the remaining Galleyland and Frankie fam that were on the entrance of the Tower of Law. So we go back to Spandam, who is walking with Robin still towards the gates of justice. And this is where the dumbest, most wow thing happens.
But it's also Spandam.
It's Spandam.
Who always leaves his receiver off.
So Spandam takes out from his pocket what he thinks is the transponder snail, and he pushes the button and starts talking, asking for a report. But when we see it, what's on his hand, he has the golden transponder snail.
Yes,
so he actually pressed the button for the buster call.
Yes, he did.
And and he's still talking, and I'm like, hello, are you looking at what you're doing? And then Robin realizes, and she freaks out.
I mean,
like,
this is the thing. She has done everything to prevent from happening.
Yes. And I thought, like, well, if the buster call happens, it'll be like this moment where it'll be like, well, this is it. There's nothing you can do now. You know, moment. Exactly. Like, boom, press the button. But it wasn't at all. It was just random, like, oh, I accidentally pressed it. Sorry, guys. Looks like we're all going to die now.
God, all these things. Man, I didn't really.
Yeah, that's me just thinking I know where things are going.
What would have happened to the story? Because I didn't question it. I was like, oh, of course Spandam would just do that. Because we've seen so many moments before of him just not...
Yeah.
Just being Spandam. So he presses it. Nico Robin freaks out, and we see multiple things. One, back at the I think headquarters or with the Navy, they see that the silver transponder snail is ringing,
right?
And so Aokiji has requested the buster call on Enyasobi because technically Aokiji is the one who gave that right to Spandam.
So the alarm sounds, and we've heard this before. We heard it when we saw the Ohara story, so we know it's coming. And so the Navy starts preparing, and they're like, okay, let's get 10 battleships ready. We'll be there in 30 minutes. So we got 30 minutes to figure this out.
And I think 5 admirals, right? Was that the number? Yeah, and while this is happening, Navy, they're getting ready. Back with Spandam, Robin is like, do you know what you just did?
Right.
Continuing to freaking out. And then Spandam notices that mistake and pulls out his other snail.
Yeah, his real transponder.
Which
for
is on, by the way, right?
Yeah, it's on. So he's basically talking to Robin, and it's also broadcasting to everybody. And she's like, you need to cancel this right now. Like, they're gonna come and destroy everyone and everything, including you, everyone on this island, like the soldiers, everyone. And he's like, it doesn't matter. Like, I won't cancel it because if this is what's needed to ensure your transfer, then this is what we're gonna do. It doesn't matter if soldiers die. Like, what matters is that I'll get a promotion, and
the important ones will survive.
The important ones will survive. He probably thinks that they'll be through the gates by the time the buster call comes. It doesn't affect him, so he doesn't really care.
No, he doesn't think it'll affect him. And Robin's trying to say it doesn't matter if you're on this island. The way she is said in the sub is it's a nightmarish concentrated fire that sacrifices everything to achieve its goal, which is just destruction of Enyasobi.
So he's like, if those soldiers couldn't even stop a few pirates, then they're better off dead anyways.
And all of this is being broadcast. And then
so the soldiers are listening.
Yeah, and then once he realizes, he does this quick, I'm Straw Hat Luffy. And he tries to pull it off, and we see that, like, you know how we have with those comedic reliefs in between where everyone else is like, we're not gonna believe you.
Yeah.
You think we were gonna fall for that
now?
And then
just heard you.
Panic ensues. Everyone's just running away. The Navy, the Marines.
They're trying to get some ships ready to leave, and they leave the Frankie fam and the Galila shipwrights
captured,
tied up in the hall of the Tower of Law. So they're there. They don't have a choice, and we end up with Luffy versus Lucci. Like, they're gonna start. Their showdown is about to start, and Luffy's like, I made a promise to Robin, and I'm not gonna break it. So if this is the next step, then so be it.
Yeah, and then it ends with, I'll be there, Robin. Or I'll be right there, Robin. Is that, what was the line for the dub?
I don't remember.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And I'm like,
but
dun,
yes,
dun,
and
this is
they sort of start the battle, right? Like and
Yeah.
that's where it ends.
Yes.
Continue. No.
Yes, the episode ends right when the battle starts. Good ending, good ending.
It was a great ending.
So we should do the podcast question really quick.
Yes. Podcast question.
So the podcast question this week was, which CP9 versus Straw Hats matchup was your favorite on the stretch of the binge? And we got lots of comments.
We got a lot of comments.
A lot of people mentioned Sogeking sword.
That is definitely one of the highlights of the... I have to say that I really liked Khalifa's sheep. So I know we haven't seen a lot of that battle yet, but
We haven't.
it's promising.
So on Twitter, on One Piece Anime, I see Emmett commented, mine is definitely Nami versus Kaifa. Nami has not received many one-on-one fights compared to some of the others in the crew. Jocelyn, you mentioned that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And then it was fun to see her in combat. She also lacks physical strength, which means her fights are usually won with strategy than all brute force. Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
I do enjoy Nami fights. Like when she's, we can see her brilliance and her like tactics. Mark D. Stampede says any option with Zoro in it is always the right answer.
I mean, yeah. I can see that. I agree too. Mario Carreras on Twitter says, I really loved Chopper's fight. Seeing his transformation where he couldn't control himself was one of my favorite moments. It was scary. I agree. It was so scary. Like when he did that roar, I was like, Chopper, that's not you.
Yeah, he's lost himself.
I know, for his friends.
And then on One Piece official Facebook page, Maritza Pontifes says, I actually liked Frankie's fight, LOL. Seeing how the different beverages made him react was so hilarious to me. He wasn't a Straw Hat yet, but he still helped them fight.
That's true. I look forward to more beverage experiments, like I mentioned earlier.
That had a tiny spoiler. Sorry, Jocelyn.
No, that's okay. I think I already had that spoiler.
I figured.
But I do see a lot on Facebook. I see a lot of love for Zoro and the Usopp sword too.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
What's your favorite so far?
I think Nami's
Nami's,
is my favorite
with the sheep.
with the sheep so far. But yeah, Usopp's sword is like my second favorite. Like,
they're pretty awesome.
especially like the shing, like the special sound effect. That's hilarious. Oh my god. So thank you everybody for answering our podcast question. Be on the lookout every week on Facebook at One Piece Official and on Twitter at One Piece Anime.
That's the end of the podcast episode. We've ended at the beginning of this fight.
Yes.
What are you thinking? What are you expecting? What do you want to see? Of everything, actually.
I
want
to see
and Lucci.
what third gear is. So I hope that Luffy will be able to use it against Lucci and finally get to Robin. Jeez, we've been trying to get to Robin.
They're
so
going
long.
against the whole government.
I know. And yeah, I want to see how Nami figures out this fight so she can get the key to help Zoro and Soggy King get out of the shackles. But I do want to see like Zoro fight more with his Soggy King sword. I feel like I haven't seen enough of that. So I am excited for the battles that are coming up.
Yes, they're gonna be good.
So we hope you enjoyed this One Piece at a time. Don't forget to check out the Funimation blog at funny.to/One Piece podcast, which will be updated constantly with the binge routes and everything you need to know. Also head to our shop at funimation.com/shop and add One Piece home video to your collection. And for all things One Piece, follow us on Facebook at One Piece Official and Twitter at One Piece Anime.
And we want to thank the people who make this podcast happen: the creator of One Piece, Oda Sensei, Toei Animation, the audio engineers, and of course everyone joining us on this journey for this podcast. All you Straw Hats out there listening, please rate this podcast wherever you're listening to it and share with other One Piece nakama.
The next One Piece at a time will cover anime episodes 295 to 302. So be sure to watch on Funimation now, subbed or dubbed, and be ready.
Yay!
See ya!